From his infamous reputation as a toxic teammate to the crazy feud with Karl Anthony Towns, here's why everyone hates Jimmy Butler. There's no denying that he's one of the best players in the game right now, but he does have a bit of an attitude problem. And in a sport like basketball, that's a serious problem. Remember that wild Timberwolves practice back in 2018? It was a complete disaster because Butler straight up wrecked the starting lineup. He teamed up with the bench warmers, destroying them in a scrimmage filled to the brim with curses and insults. Talk about intense. But wait, there's more. Butler publicly ripped into Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, throwing shade at them for being soft. Can you believe it? Butler claimed that he was fed up with their lazy attitudes and that the players were just cruising by on their natural talent. Meanwhile, he had to bust his butt to get where he is today. Now, it's one thing to be angry, but Jimmy took things a little too far, and it was crystal clear that his days in Minnesota were numbered after that fiery blow-up. The drama didn't stop there, though. When Butler made his exit from the Philadelphia 76ers, he straight up dissed the team, saying he didn't even know who the heck was in charge. Ouch! You don't call out your own team like that, Jimmy. Now let's shift gears to his current gig with the Miami Heat. Some folks might have a different take on him there, but let's be real. He's still a controversial figure. Heat legend Chris Bosh tries to spin it positively, saying a little tension can be good for the team, and Jimmy brings just the right amount of it. And let's not forget Udonis Haslem, who said Jimmy thrives when he's surrounded by a bunch of fierce competitors. And who doesn't enjoy a challenge every now and then? So whether you're on Team Butler or not, there's no denying that this guy has a knack for stirring up trouble. And his problems don't stop at being a bad teammate. He's also known for having a sharp and very rude tongue, and that's a sure shot way of getting yourself a bad rep in the NBA world. Butler is not one to hold back when it comes to authority. He straight up called out former Bulls head coach for not coaching the team hard enough. Yikes. Of course, that one comment opened a whole can of worms for Butler and the Bulls. When he got traded to the Timberwolves in 2017, more problems started popping up. Some reports claimed that Butler didn't want to socialize with his teammates off the court, and they clashed a lot during games. It's like they were constantly at each other's throats. Zach Lowe didn't pull any punches when talking about Butler. He said the guy loved the spotlight a little too much and didn't do enough to support his teammates, both as a playmaker and a cheerleader. Ouch, that's gotta sting. Even though Butler led the Wolves back to the playoffs in the 2017-18 season, the same drama followed. And instead of being a leader for young stars on his team, he always held them back by constantly being all up in their faces. He demanded a trade before the 2019-20 season, and guess what? In November, they granted his wish and shipped him off to the Sixers. Philly didn't prove to be any different. Butler joined promising youngsters Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, but rumors started swirling that he clashed with them too. But Jimmy Buckets has denied these claims over and over, saying he had no problem with either of them. He wished them success and acknowledged that things didn't work out as planned. That's life, you know? Even his current head coach Eric Spoelstra has spoken up about Butler being a major headache. So the controversy surrounding this guy just never seems to fade away. And if that wasn't enough, he's also known as the diva of the league. The guy went from a tough upbringing to becoming a bona fide basketball superstar, which is an incredible rags to riches story. But you know what? Despite his inspiring journey, Butler has earned himself a reputation as an entitled diva during his time with the Bulls. Picture this. He was the 30th pick out of Marquette in the 2011 draft, joining a team already led by MVP Derrick Rose. The guy had to scrap for minutes and prove himself to crack that tough Bulls rotation. When Rose got injured, Butler seized the opportunity and emerged as the top dog on that gritty squad. But here's the thing that rubbed people the wrong way. Jimmy wasn't afraid to call out his teammates and even the coaches. He questioned the younger players' commitment, which landed him a hefty fine, and the team even benched him as a punishment once. Plus, some of his Bulls buddies believed he received special treatment from the higher-ups. And let's not forget when he flew separately from the team. Talk about not being a team player, am I right? When Rose and Joakim Noah left, fingers were pointed at Butler for the team's problems. But he clapped back, refusing to apologize for his drive to win. So, is Jimmy Butler a diva? Well, he doesn't think so. The man embraces his determination to be the best, even if it rubs people the wrong way. But it's not just Butler's attitude that's made him so unpopular. He's got major beef with some big names in the NBA world. Take TJ Warren, for example. Let's rewind to 2020. The Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers were locked in a heated battle on the court during playoffs. Things got downright nasty when Warren decided to take a cheap shot at Butler, swiping at his arm as he fearlessly drove to the hoop. That's when the fireworks exploded and the verbal sparring began. It was like watching two pit bulls baring their teeth, ready to tear each other apart. Butler, being the cocky guy that he is, couldn't resist adding fuel to the fire. As Warren was booted from the game, the athlete shamelessly blew him a mocking kiss, displaying his hate for his opponent. Classy move, Jimmy. The drama didn't end there, folks. Oh no. These two continued their war of words in the post-game press conferences, leaving no doubt that they despised each other. The league had no choice but to dole out fines, with Warren getting hit with $25,000 and Butler receiving a hefty $35,000. Not only did Butler engage in the on-court tussle, but he also took to social media to escalate the situation. What a swell guy, right? Now let's fast forward to their next face-off in the bubble games. Butler had the chance to cement his dominance over Warren, and he did just that. He crushed Warren's spirit, putting up impressive numbers while making him look like a mere amateur on the court. This infamous feud between Butler and Warren in 2020 really shows why Butler is so widely disliked. His conceited attitude, lack of sportsmanship, and taste for rubbing people the wrong way have earned him a reputation as a total jerk in the league. It's no wonder fans and players alike can't stand the sight of him. But guess what? Warren isn't the only player Butler has a conflict with. This guy has a knack for pissing people off. Just look at his feud with Karl-Anthony Towns. And let me tell you, it doesn't make Butler look good. The beef between the two players began during their time as teammates on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it's been a lingering feud ever since. Butler did help the Wolves break their 14-year playoff drought in 2018, but things quickly turned sour. During the 2018 to 2019 season, Butler demanded a trade and held out of training camp. When he finally showed up, he went on a tirade, insulting his teammates during practice. And that's when the whole teaming up with the benches thing happened too. He even sat down with Rachel Nichols and took shots at Towns and Andrew Wiggins in a controversial interview. Eventually, he was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Fast forward to a recent game between the Miami Heat and the Timberwolves, and the hostility between Butler and Towns was still alive. Microphones caught Butler trash-talking Towns, calling him a loser and bragging about punking him before. He went even further, describing Towns as soft as baby. What makes Butler's behavior even worse is that Towns has faced personal tragedy off the court. His parents battled COVID and his mother tragically lost her life to the virus. Despite his own battle with COVID, Towns showed incredible strength and resilience. But Jimmy seems to have something against Towns for absolutely no reason. I mean, it's pretty clear that he holds a grudge of some kind, which just makes for an ugly situation overall. Even though Towns claims they've settled their differences, Butler's actions make it clear why he's seen as an asshole. His constant feuding with Towns only adds to the reasons why he's hated by everyone. Well, there you have it. From his crazy feud with Karl-Anthony Towns to having an infamous reputation for being a toxic teammate, this was why everyone hates Jimmy Butler.